Let's start with Sid Battula. Are you ready? Do you want to go ahead, turn on your video?
Hello.
Great. Let's get started, Sid. Okay.
Hello, my name is Sid Battula. Just to introduce myself, I am a sophomore, grade 10, and I go to John Paul II High School. Two hobbies that I have is I run cross country and I do speech and debate. So first, to introduce my topic, it is on using machine learning to optimize adsorbing nanotechnology filtration for rural water pollutants. That essentially means that you are using particle-based filtration over fixed water filtration. To introduce my research, I'm going to answer the question: how can rural regions optimize wastewater treatment in both an affordable and effective manner? By using artificial intelligence to deploy adsorbing particles, these regions can slow the wear and tear on the filters, rather than using membrane-based filters which stay in place and are have a lot of rundown and residue built up on those filters, rather than manufacturing large amount of filters. First, as a definition, adsorption is an exothermic process in which particles attach to larger particles and turning the absorbent into a monomolecular layer for easy cleanup, rather than using filters which have the issues of rundown and filtration on the actual filter. So, in my literature review, I have 4 documents here, but I use 15 documents in my paper. The first document references how adsorption is a relatively simple operation, and it has more cost effectiveness because it uses less materials. Rather than using like a total amount of materials, such as for fixed filtration, where it's one direct filter, it uses a lesser amount, as in it attacks only heavy metals, bacteria, and viruses by using carbon nanotubes and silver nanoparticles. Number 2 in the document, it references that microbial nanoparticles, which are basically organic nanoparticles, are a potential absorbent for wastewater remediation, as it's not as toxic as inorganic chemical nanoparticles. By using carbohydrates and proteins and other enzymes, we can see that these agents are minimizing negative health effects on to people. The document that I have references how we can use AI in nanoparticle filtration. It uses 38,000 data points with more than 18 dimensions or parameters in predicting what particles go to certain negative chemicals and bacteria. The last document talks about how different AI models, such as the ANN and vector machines, can be used to respond to negative particles in your water. Methodology and results. So essentially how I organize my research paper and how I'm organizing this presentation is by using the bucket method. First, I separated my documents into 3 buckets. For 15 documents, this made it pretty easy, 5, 5, and 5. The first document outlines absorption over fixed filtration. It shows that adsorption is a more cost-effective, more efficient way to filter your wastewater. Bucket 2 was what materials are used best for filtration. Over here, you can see I made this in Procreate. Over here, you can see this is a basic design of a carbon nanotube, which is one of the most researched on nanoparticles for filtering water. And bucket 3, how does AI play into the use cases of particles? My results were, by way of synthesizing information that I found in the literature review, I was able to show the use cases of nanoparticle filtration over simple fixed filtration, and showing that it's more cost effective to use this research over the fixed filtration as we currently use. The only reason we still use reverse osmosis and fixed filtration is because it's an old process and it still works, but it needs to be revamped. The other result is by using artificial intelligence in way of decision tree models and response models, we can see that countries such as India can provide safe, recycled water that lacks heavy metals, bacteria, and is safe to drink for living creatures. In conclusion, how can machine learning optimize adsorbing nanofiltration for rural water pollutants? The answer is machine learning can optimize nanotechnology by using response surface models to deploy adsorbing particles rather than free float the particles in the wastewater solution. Is this a better option as compared to reverse osmosis and fixed filters? The answer is this is a better option than regular fixed filtration, as the processes require less cleaning, allowing for resources to be deployed elsewhere, making the budget issue less of an issue. My research experience with gifted Gabber. First, in my research development, Dr. Christina was a major help in my literature review as she helped me develop articles and show my original findings in different ways. As my argument developed, she presented further papers to aid in my research and educated me on the different types of nanoparticles. In argument formulation, Professor Virgil outlined my document organization in a better manner. I tend to word vomit when I'm passionate about a subject, and Professor Virgil picked up on that. Instead of trying to displace my fashion and trying to make me go down one alleyway, he promoted my word vomit and created a solid outline for me to highlight key research points in an organized manner. Thank you so much.
Applause to Sid. Sid, it's a really relevant topic. I'm so sorry, my video is like just shaking. Okay, a wonderful topic that you've picked up and a very unique area. Kudos to you for sustaining and digging deep. Dr. Christina, any comments, any questions for Sid?
Yeah, it's a great topic. I was really impressed when he mentioned it the first time. Particularly the specific with rural wastewater, which is extremely important. So after you, I have a question, which is more related to a little bit broader applications. So you did so much research and you had so many papers regarding nanotechnology and the use of machine learning and AI. And this is one of the ways to actually advance our nanotechnologies. So do you think that there could be another application of this combining machine learning with nanoparticles, particularly related to, let's say, some environmental problem or wastewater?
Definitely. There are many other ways to use machine learning and nanotechnology. In my research, I actually came across a way for air filtration using nanotech and filtering carbon emissions, especially on airlines. That was something that I came across in my research, but I went further into depth with the wastewater treatment because I feel like it impacts closer to me as in what I've seen in my life.
Thank you. Great.
Excellent. So a big round of applause for Sid. 2 questions for Sid on the chat, okay?